guys, this is Kenya. Welcome back to Kenya's Decor Corner. So today I'm so super excited because I'm going to be finishing up decorating my entryway, my foyer, and my staircase landing. So you guys saw me decorate my fall tree behind me here. So I wanted to go ahead and finish off this space and be done with this for the fall season. So we'll be wrapping up everything by decorating each section within this space, and then we'll be ready to move on to my dining room. So let's get started with this video. Guys, I should also mention that this video is in participation of the Fall Farmhouse Decorate With Me collaboration hosted by Heidi Tomball and Lindsay at Domer Home. Let me say a big thank you so much to these ladies for hosting this collaboration. I will have their channels listed in my description box down below. Also, be sure to check out the playlist. I will have that listed as well. Now, I hope you guys enjoy this video and seeing how I put my entryway space together. So for this vignette I'm creating on my entryway table, I'm using 3 hurricanes that I have literally had for probably 15 years, guys. I've had those items for so long I can't even remember where I purchased them, but I would venture to say Kirkland's, but honestly I can't really remember. And I'm using greenery that I picked up from Hobby Lobby, and it was like a vine, and I broke it all into pieces, and so I'm just using pieces throughout my home. So that is my base for this look. And now I'm adding in some fall florals or foliage that I picked up from the Dollar Tree a couple of seasons ago. And I will just fill this space in with the fall leaves. As you guys can see, the leaves are filling in the base of these hurricanes, and so it's making like a kind of like a skirt around them. And I want to be sure to fill it in on all sides because you can see the back side of this look when you're walking up my staircase as well. So I think it looks really pretty. So I'll just add in a couple of picks that I also picked up from the Dollar Tree. Now we will pan around so that I can see the other side and fill in any gaps on this side. And again, I'm adding another Dollar Tree pick there, and a pumpkin that came in a bag of pumpkins from Ross a few years back. And I want to say maybe 6 or 8 pumpkins came to the bag, and it was like $6 for the bag. Now, here is a wreath that I created last year, and I'm just going to deconstruct it by taking off all of the items that I do not want to use for this year. And I will repurpose this wreath once I have it deconstructed, and then we will put it back together. Okay, now that we have all of the items off that I didn't want, this is what the wreath looks like, what's remaining. And these are the fall picks that I picked up from Walmart, a couple of years ago. I will use these to repurpose this wreath. And yeah, I have 2 of those, so I will put one on either end of this wreath, which the grapevine wreath is from the Dollar Tree, and pretty much all of the florals on the wreath are from the Dollar Tree as well. So you guys will notice that many of the projects that I'll be doing is using items that I already had, like this leaf I purchased from the Dollar Tree maybe 3 years ago. And I'm just using this as a protectant for my table because I don't want the grapevine wreath to scratch it up in case, if it gets moved around. So I'm just putting it into place, and you can see that I've already added one stem of the florals to one side of the wreath, and I just basically poked it in between the branches of the grapevine wreath. And now we will add in the second fall bush, and I'm doing the same thing, just kind of forcing it into the grapevine wreath and making sure everything is pushed in tight and it's all secured. You could absolutely hot glue this if you'd like to, but you guys know I like to repurpose and reuse my items year after year, and so I try not to make things permanent if possible. So now I am sitting a lamp in the center of the wreath so that it's making like a centerpiece for the lamp. And it really is like a swag, I guess, for the base of the lamp. And I'm just fluffing up the leaves and the florals there to make sure everything looks full and nice. And you could totally spend as much time as you would like to fluff up your arrangements. And honestly, I'll probably go back in afterwards and fluff up more, which you guys can see I did here. And now we'll just pan up for you to see this beautiful lamp that I thrifted years ago. It had to be probably at least 6 or 8 years ago that I purchased that lamp at the thrift store. And now again, I'm just filling in with a couple of pumpkins from the bag of pumpkins that I already had. And now this is what the table is looking like so far, and I think it looks so very pretty. I think it's very festive, and I think it's a warm way to greet our guests as they enter our home. And now we will work on the lower half of this table. Now I'm showing you guys another vase that I thrifted years and years ago. Again, this was probably 10, maybe 15 years ago. And it's filled with potpourri, and I'm using that as like a stabilizer when I put my florals in. And I'm using these fern bushes that I picked up from Walmart. They were $5. And so I'm just kind of fluffing it up a little bit, and then I will add it to our vase. And there we have it, simple and easy. And I like for the leaves to be the darker green side to be facing downward mostly. So that's why I spend a little time fluffing that up a bit. Now these are some fall foliage that I picked up from the at-home store a couple of years ago after the season when everything was like 90% off. And I think the regular price was $3.99, so I got them for super cheap. And so I'm just gonna poke those into the vase around the greenery just to fill it in a bit and give it some fall flair. And I'm taking a minute here just to really kind of fluff up the feathers. I think that the feathers add a lot of texture and dimension to your floral arrangement, and I think they just look really pretty. So I want them to show, so I'm just fluffing them up a bit. And now we'll add another bushel to the other side. And I'm just kind of separating the bushes there so that they will look nice and full and cover, you know, more surface area. And there you have it. I think that is it. I think this is the only thing that I'll put at the bottom of the table since I have a lot going on otherwise. But who knows, maybe later I might come back in and add something else. But on the top of the table, I have that open space in between the lamp and the hurricanes. I would like to find like a harvest blessing sign or welcome or hello fall or something like that sign to put there. So I'll be on the hunt for something a little bit later, but for now I think it looks very pretty. And of course it is coordinating well with my fall tree. If you guys have not seen the videos of me putting together this beautiful Tuscan inspired fall tree, I will have that video linked in the iCards above and in the description box down below for you to check it out. It was a 2-part series. It's a 9-foot tree that I decorated for fall and autumn season, and I think it looks so pretty, and it's the inspiration for this entryway and foyer space of my home. Now we will focus on the, I don't know what this area is called. It's behind the door where my guests hang their coats or their purses when they come over for a visit. So I guess it's like a coat rack or shelf. So I usually use it as decoration, not so much for the purpose that it's meant to be. I did have this space decorated with white items for the spring and summer. And so I've taken all that down and I'm using this swag that I picked up from Ross a few years back as my base. And then I'm using this scriptural wall art that I picked up from Hobby Lobby a few years ago at 90% off clearance sale. And so yeah, I'm just putting that here on the back of the shelf. And I'm taking my time to make sure that I place it properly so that it does not fall. So I just want to ensure that the sign is not, at first I thought I'd sit it on top of the swag, but I decided that I would rather have it sit directly on the shelf, and then I will use the swag to anchor it to ensure that it doesn't move. And again, my family doesn't use this. This is purely for decorative purposes. At this point, we have another area in our home where our guests can leave their bags and coats if necessary. And it's still very hot here, so no one has a coat right now. But so I'm just fluffing up the swag a little bit, making sure that it looks really full and that the leaves are prominently seen. I also added a fall leaf wreath just below the shelf, and that is something that was a DIY project that I created a few years back. I think it was last fall, where I took a fall leaf like vine and wrapped it around one of those Dollar Tree wreath forms, and there you have it, the fall wreath. So that was super easy to do and very inexpensive. And I'm using a pumpkin that I purchased from Walmart a few years back on the end there to anchor my swag. And now I'm adding in a bit of greenery to pull in the Tuscan vibes and just to add another layer of texture and color and definition to my display. Guys, I think if you want to create a designer look for your home, then in my opinion, layering is what really adds to that look. it just makes everything look very finished to me, you know, just like a complete finished look. So again, I'm going in and adding in a bit more greenery. Now that everything is completed, this is the look. I think that I would like to maybe find a cross or something to add next to that wreath. Something darker to hang lower, kind of to balance out that wall art on top. But I think this looks very pretty as is. And so now I'm going to add a floral arrangement by using this beautiful vase that I thrifted years ago. And it's filled with sticks and flowers from Walmart. And here it is put together and in the space. So that's really kind of helped to fill in some of the negative space. So I may not add anything else to the shelf, but before adding this, I felt like it needed something extra. But I think it looks very pretty now. And sorry, it gets a little bit dark once I move around because the sun is coming towards me instead of being behind me in my entryway space. But I'm just panning around here so you guys can see the entire space and how everything is coming together. And I think it looks really, really pretty. Now we'll turn around and focus on this foyer part of our entryway space where I have my cross wall and my credenza. And so here I'm using another fern bushel that I picked up from Walmart for $5. I'm just fluffing it up here because I want it to be very full, and I kind of tucked it against the wall behind the credenza so that it would be propped up into the space. And here is a beautiful shelf that I thrifted a few years ago, and I just think it's so very pretty. It's like giving me all the Tuscan vibes, and so I'm just going to use it as a decorative piece here as opposed to a shelf, but it is wall mountable on the back. You can mount it on the wall. But I think it looks so pretty, and it's the perfect piece for creating a vignette. So I'm using that floral was from Hobby Lobby. I did get those after the season on clearance, and so I'm just going to use some fall foliage and florals and a couple of pumpkins to fill in this space for fall. And here I'm just adding more Dollar Tree florals to my vignette just to create some fullness and more visual definition. So I think it's coming together nicely, and here are a couple more picks from the Dollar Tree. So I'll just plug those into place so that I'm wanting to go for a very full look with this floral arrangement. And here is the final look, but now we have to address my plate over here. So I put a greenery bush that I picked up from Hobby Lobby a few years ago under the plate. And I have this owl that I've had for many years. The tag, I couldn't really see what it said on the bottom there, but I have that. And I also have this beautiful pumpkin that I just recently picked up from Ross this season. And the price, first of all, I love that this pumpkin is glass with etching on it. It's just so beautiful. And it was only $10. It's fairly small, but I think it's visually interesting. And so that's why I was willing to pay $10 for it. And guys, I didn't take the tag off in this video, but I did take it off later. So no worries. I know you can see the tag through the pumpkin. But so I decided to slide everything down a little bit on my credenza and add the owl on the end to see how that looks, and add the pumpkin there. So guys, I like to kind of move things around, stand back, look at it, move this, move that, until I have what I think looks perfect. And I think this looks very, very pretty. So now that we have the top of the credenza completed, we need to address the lower half sides. So I moved out those white elephants because that's not for this season. And I left the gold candlesticks, and I have the greenery topiaries on top. And I just decorated the gold candlesticks with fall leaves, like a leaf vine that I picked up from the Dollar Tree. I just twirled it around the base of the candlesticks. So I'm showing you guys how the top of the credenza looks with my cross wall, and here is the full look here at the bottom. Now we'll move on to my staircase landing. This is what's there now. That was there from the spring and summer. And so I'm panning around so you guys can see how each space is connected with each other. It's very open concept. And so I want all of my decor to speak to each other. I want everything to coordinate properly. So I've moved out those items and placed my autumn leaves and pumpkins please sign. I picked that up from Ross last year, and I think it was like $12.99. And behind it, I added some sticks and florals that I picked up from either Walmart or Ross a few years back. And I have now my wooden pumpkin from Kirkland's. I did get that last year, and I added some Dollar Tree florals on the pumpkin. And also on the bottom, I have more greenery from Hobby Lobby. That's just little greenery pieces. And I placed a pumpkin from Walmart sitting on top of the greenery. And again, I'm panning around to show you guys. how that vignette is coordinating with the vignette that I have on the wall over there and my fall tree. I didn't pan back to see the other space where my cross wall is, but you can see that everything is coordinating nicely together. And I think it looks really, really, really pretty. I'm really happy with how things turned out. Leave me comments down below and let me know what you guys think. Okay guys, so I hope that you all have enjoyed this video, and if so, please be sure to go ahead and click the like button. So also, if you're new here, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. I hope that you will go ahead and click the subscribe button, and also go ahead and hit the notification bell for alerts as to when I upload new videos. Guys, this costs you absolutely nothing. It is free to subscribe. It is free to click the bell so that you'll get the notifications, but it definitely helps my channel and my channel growth. So I really appreciate you clicking that subscribe button. Also, leave me comments down below, guys, and let me know what you think about my fall decor. I think this Tuscan inspired fall decor theme is really coming together nicely, and I think it's going to look so beautiful in my home. So leave me comments down below to let me know what you think and what's your style for decorating this year for the fall. Now, if you are my faithful family member, you guys know I love you so very much. And I look forward to seeing all of you on the next video. Much love and many blessings. Bye-bye.